I'm going to show you how I'm handling the communication of Fiverr, and also we're going to go over sort of the weekend flow, and also I'm going to show you what is happening on the weekend, usually on my Fiverr account, because the weekends are slower, of course, with I think all the Fiverr sellers. And in generally, just wanted to show you as well an update and answer, of course, the questions that you guys have and leaving in the comments. First of all, going back to my Fiverr analytics, we are still averaging around 40K, which is really great. And actually recently, on August 16, it was one of my highest days. And usually when this happens, so you can see $3,640 made. Of course, these are completed orders. So these orders were essentially came about a month ago, maybe a little bit less, depending on what kind of service, and then they were completed on the August 16th. So of course, a lot of chunk of revenue, and also, as you can see, we got some cancel orders, and we got as well a few days ago just 6 orders, and today it's August 17, and we just got 1 order so far. But the day has started, so we will see how it perform. So I actually posted, if you haven't seen the Fiverr course, complete Fiverr course, I posted my channel. I will also add a link as well in the description. You can check it out. It's been performing really well so far, and I'm going to be definitely doing more of those updates. So of course, let's go over the questions that you guys are leaving. So I decided to do this to test this sort of a format where I can respond to your questions as well in more detailed way and provide you some guidance as well, some tips. So just gonna go back into the last question that I answered. So let's go back here. Let's just see. So those ones have been answering. Okay, so let's go and we will continue from. So here, thanks for your support. See here, so I'm glad I'm seeing this 20 minutes after it was posted. Thanks, Vasily. Thank you, DD Solutions. Thanks for your feedback. Your videos are informative and realistic. Watching you gives me a lot of practical experience, solutions to many problems. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot. Honestly, it kind of takes time, but in all, thank you for your feedback so far. Okay, so there is just one thing I don't understand. You get a bulk of orders every month, so many orders. That means you are doing social media growth or content, etc. for each account, and every month you complete so many orders too. I'm just trying to understand how it's possible to handle such a high number of bulk orders and still have clients satisfied. How is so much work being done? How is this service being delivered? Please explain. You do hundreds of orders monthly, and that's how you make 30-40K. So Kenneth, thanks for your as well question. I totally understand. I will have the same questions if I were you. Of course, you know, it's always when you look at this number of orders in queue, you are wondering what is going on behind the scenes there. First of all, I do have a team, so this is not just me doing all of this work. I do have a team right now. It's actually 8 people. It can be increasing, but right now we are a team of 8. And I would say the first thing. So I do have 2 kind of services, right? So I'll explain this with the whiteboard so it's easier. So I do have 2 services. The one service, actually, let me switch to the red one here. The one service, because it will be easier to understand. So I do growth on Instagram, right? So this is something that I've been doing this industry for the last almost a decade, honestly. Like I've been doing this, it's been 10 years. 10 years of doing this service. So the first thing, of course, the first thing I have a system that is built. So of course, it doesn't mean when the client comes in, I need to have like hundreds of people working. So there is a system. So a system which is able to help me that volume of orders. When I mean the system, right, it can be combined. So it can be combined regarding, we have some stuff, actually tech stuff that we built to help us maintain, right? So we have reports we're sending to clients. We are basically kind of like simplified the logging process, the handling processes, the service delivery process as well, because we are performing organic interactions for Instagram growth, right? So to not get extremely in details, because that might be very long, we do have the system for that, right? And actually I will suggest as well to check out my previous video, because you will see how I actually do and how my system is done regarding the team organization. So the second thing, of course, people, right? So of course I still have, you know, people who are helping me, who are managing me, but that's one thing. This service, the Instagram growth service, it's possible to scale it with a good system. Doesn't mean you can't just have people at all. You still need to have some people, but mainly it works with the system, right? So again, this is not done by any of, like, you know, having fake followers or any of that. So all interactions we're actually doing on the phones, on the physical phones, right? So we're using the actual Instagram app to perform those interactions. But of course you can have a system where it can be done efficiently, right? So that's one thing. I was actually thinking to really, because this service it's been a good service, right? And it's good to offer this service. It's quite easy to sell this service because we are selling specifically growth. The growth can be, it's not just, you know, like I said, no fake followers. So this is not a service like that, because first of all, you're not allowed to do that on Fiverr, and second, you're basically, the clients will not be happy. So you will not see any reviews that clients will be happy from this kind of service. But the service does provide a growth. So we are usually getting about 100 to 300. I don't like to call it followers, because it's kind of, associates to that part, but it's still around this growth range between 100 to 300. Depends on the account, depends on the client as well, if it's a business, if it's a personal account, so many factors. So that's one of the things. The second thing we have is the content. So the content service, it scales with people, right? It can be scaled with a system as well, a good system, but mainly it's scaled with the people, because the designers, so we do have, I'll also put it here. So we do have a system as well, but mainly we have, of course, our designers, so who are handling the creation part of the content. And we have as well, I will call it a project manager, right, who coordinates the work with the designers and also communicates with the clients on Fiverr, right? So the project manager basically has this sort of, coordination. Actually, they're both coordinating. So designers, they complete the work. So designers, they don't communicate with clients. They are mainly focusing on the actual designs. And the project manager focuses on the actual talking to the clients, improving the service as well. So actually my wife, I don't want to call her, she's a project manager, because she's a lot bigger, of course. She's handling more things, but she is basically, kind of like on top of this service. So that's how we have the system. And we have, of course, the other gigs you've seen. We have the strategy service. The strategy service actually goes into the to actually, our designers they're also marketers. I mean, we kind of going in that direction, so that our designers don't just create content that is, like, let's say, design nice, but it actually makes sense for the marketing standpoint, especially for Instagram, for Facebook, for LinkedIn, for other social media platforms that we create. So, but the strategy service, it also relates, because the problem here, so for example, those two services, right? And this service is not relying too much on the people. It relies on of course, like the tech, right? I mean, we still have, like, let's say if we have something developing, we have to like pay the developers, right? Or there are some sort of fees, but it mainly relies on the tech, and it relies on the actual industry, because Instagram, as you know, they are always, changing. The application is changing, the stuff is changing. So we kind of need to, adapt to those changes to make sure we can still, be able to provide the service. On the other hand is we have, but this one, for example, if for some reason we're in trouble, we're downscaling, of course, the costs can be subtracted quite easily, so in this sort of setup. In this setup we have, where is the content, the designers. Of course, designers are the core of this type of service, but the problem is, because we're actually offering the service on Fiverr takes 20%. It can be sometimes uncertain, if it's actually going to work out or not. So what happens here is that the designers, they do have a salaries, right? So they have a salary which we are paying every month. And of course, you know, if we have not enough orders, because the profit margins are with content service, I mean, you see people have, you know, hundreds of orders in content service, but in reality, they're not making that much money. You know, they're very short on that profit margin, because if you want to do a good content service, you essentially need to, you know, like, you cannot just be paying like $200, $300, $400, right? So you need to, you know, in our case, when we post like jobs, like we advertise, we pay between 8 to 1,000 euros per month, right? 800 to 1,000. It can go more, like it can go to 1,100, 1,200, depending on the performance. But in the end, there is not really a lot of room, right, for the growth, because we are operating with the small margins, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, if you take the designers and then you put the salary of the project manager, right, which is about, I mean, it should be actually a bit higher, because the project manager does more, has more responsibility. So in the end, you don't really left with much. You know, this is the service that actually, it's not easy to offer it on Fiverr. It's good to offer it with clients directly, or if you're actually going to be charging a lot more. So we are currently in the position where we do want to grow, and our designers want to grow. It's logical, you know, they want to also increase their salary, and, you know, it's kind of becomes this point where, you know, if you're just making, you know, a bit from it, you know, like not really like a good profit margin, it doesn't make really much sense to actually have this whole service. But we are hoping to kind of like transform this service into something, you know, bigger, into has more potential, maybe more higher ticket. So we will see, or we will just shut it down. So, you know, depends how things will go. But I hope this answers your questions, Kenneth, because you know, again, you know, there is so much as I can show here to you and explain. But of course, you know, I'm also thinking about doing something more, because I do feel with what the system that we have, other people can be benefiting as well, and also getting you know, clients, and eventually we can be collaborating. So, and again, we have Javi, thanks for as well jumping in and replying. So yes, so this will be replied in the video, so you're gonna see the reply. So I'll get back later. Do you offer mentorship to help us grow on Fiverr? If yes, what are you offering? So right now I don't have a mentorship, but I do run a SaaS, which this has been kind of one of the main focuses at the moment. You guys can see the link in description. We do, you know, I honestly, like, you know, I understand, for example, this is maybe not for like a beginner Fiverr seller, but honestly, I would still consider, because you are getting in the group with me, and you can actually get like a direct access with me, because I don't do like consultings, I don't do like these mentorships for now. Maybe this will be changed, but if something comes up, this will be the place where you can actually get it from. So, but yeah. Lambros, thanks for your support always. That's amazing to hear. Musavir, amazing content. Thank you so much. The only one, I believe. Thank you, Musavir. I really appreciate it. AI School GS, thank you by reading my comment, guiding me. No problem. Lambros, thanks again for responding. Okay, so we have another one. I have some questions, or we can call them problem. I don't know, but first I was getting normal orders, and then suddenly I had no orders. Now everything is going well, and now things are becoming harder for me. I'm a motion graphic editor. Right now I'm working 8 hours. I can make only 3 minutes of documentary edit, because projects are very complex, but things becoming harder when 3 or 4 clients come. So what I should do? I can produce only one video per week, but I'm receiving 2 or 3 briefs, and also from my gig. Any tip to manage another thing in that? I have repeated client and others. Okay, so a lot of things going on. Musavir, I will suggest, you know, to be honest, you should just document your journey, because, you know, with me, I feel like you guys know all of this YouTube, you know, like people are sharing stuff, numbers, everyone is a millionaire, right? I mean, it's happening, right? Like everyone, and even me, like sometimes, you know, I don't really feel honestly comfortable showing the numbers, the Fiverr, but unfortunately that's what makes people want to watch you, you know, and listen to you. And of course, when you have something credible business, not just like an online course or an actual business, an agency, I think it's even more credible. So this work is not easy, and I, you know, also have a huge respect to you because you are doing this, you are pushing this. So I will suggest to start documenting your journey. So take your, you know, start recording yourself. Like, YouTube is the best platform, to be honest. Like, YouTube is not easy to do. Like, some people just are not able to do it because they're not able to be on camera. But if you can do it, it can pay off like a big time. So I will suggest to go on the YouTube, try to show what you can, because you can also blur the screen, don't show the projects, but you can actually do like the voice and, you know, tell people what you're working on, and then that can bring you leads, you know. Just I will show you, like, because this is something is interesting to, so you guys can sorry, I'm kind of type the Fiverr affiliate, so you guys can see just the power of just the YouTube. And I'm curious how the numbers will look like because of this latest video I posted. But you guys can see. So if I take, let's say, July 1st until August 17, and I click on the clicks, right? So you guys can see I'm getting, like, you know, more than 10 clicks per day on my, and this is the Fiverr affiliate, so they are clicking on my service. You can see in the link in the description. If you go to under my video, it says want to grow your Instagram, right? That's what I'm pushing at the moment. And you can see people are clicking, people are, you know, this is actually doesn't reflect how much I'm getting, because these are new buyers to Fiverr, right? But there are a lot of repeat buyers coming. There are people who are just, you know, watching content. So so it works. YouTube definitely works. I have become level 2 seller 2024. After become level 2 seller, I haven't received a lot of orders, suddenly stop orders. Why this situation happens? Raya, thanks for your question. Honestly, you have to look at your industry. You have to look at multiple things, because you know, it's the same thing with what discussed with Chris. I'm currently in Poland, met with Chris Farman, with Dennis as well. They were on my channel. We had an interviews before. And you know, it may be the service you're offering doesn't have the same demand as it had before. So I would look into that, because, like, you know, like, even in the, luckily in the social media, Instagram is still popular. Everyone still wants to grow Instagram. So ideally you want to find a service which will have a good demand for long term, but you never know. So that's why I would suggest, you know, there are many factors which can you know, be here. So it can be because you're not showing, like, your face well in terms of, like, your branding, personal branding on Fiverr. It can be the industry as well. So yeah, let me just click this one so you guys know that I replied to you. Lumbers as well. So I'm trying this format. I know sometimes, I mean, I appreciate you guys staying with me. You can, you know, scroll to the other parts, but it is a new format. But I honestly like it, because I feel bad just, like, writing you a comment like, okay, yes, try this, and, like, repeating the same thing. Maybe something new will come up. So yeah. Right, yeah, so freelancing tips. Thanks for the review. For extension, you did great work, though $39 per month for who had many dimes seems a little strange. Yes, this is not for someone who has not made any money on Fiverr, because you need to have some volume, some sort of thing. But to be honest, I'm thinking to add more things for those sellers who are just starting out. So I would suggest even, like, being in the community, having access and asking questions, and, you know, kind of like using this as an opportunity, because, you know, it's I think it's great. You know, if you can just squeeze the most out of it, you will get the most value. But yeah, I agree with you. So of course, this is not just for the seller who doesn't have any orders. Do you have any ideas how to rank a single product? I've been a level 1 seller, but I haven't received any messages for the past 5 months, even though I'm always active on my account. So, you know, being active, what does it mean being active? Like online 24/7, or actually, like, coming up with gigs and implementing things, you know? I will suggest for you to really test out the categories, you know, and try to come up with the gigs that are in different categories. And, you know, you never know which one will actually work. So that's what I highly recommend you to. Just don't sit and wait. Try to do, like, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great platform because it's easier to post than YouTube, and it's also it's professional network. So you have a lot of businesses and a lot of leads potentially there. All right, so we had I actually did a live here, so Musavir, thanks for joining the live. I'll probably do more of those. I can have after you. I start getting orders. Yes. So Musavir, I think I just got back to your reply, and I appreciate as well mentioning the profile reviews. I will start doing that soon as well. So yeah, we have Ansha. Thanks for your support. Jora, thank you for your support as well. Savir, you've been always extremely loyal. I'll definitely take the course. Thanks for all your efforts, guys. I just put a course. It's a free course. You know, I did it some time ago. I mean, still really very relevant in my opinion, but you can take a look. It's actually performing really well. If you guys like it, I will do more of those. I will do more updated lessons and, you know, things like that, because I feel this is something that can be done. Okay, so thank you so much. Always value. Thanks a lot for your feedback as well. Timothy, thank you so much. Level 1 seller, hope you can climb that to level 2 and top rate seller. So we have Raikov, thanks for your feedback as well. I'll pay close attention to this course. Is it delivered? I want to tax someone who has opened an account due to irregular logging to the account. It got disabled. Can that person create an account afresh using the exact profile? So David, thanks for your message. I'm sorry that this is happening. I would actually reach out to support, because you probably know more the reasons. Maybe it got flagged because you already used this email. Maybe it was already connected to the payout method. So honestly, you have two options. You either can just, you know, if the account has some sort of reviews and anything, you can just go and try to, you know, like understand what is happening. Or the second option is just to try to create kind of like new account, which is not maybe, of course, ideal, because Fiverr doesn't allow 2 accounts. So you have to be careful, because if you already use some sort of information like payout method, if you're going to use it again, you will be most likely disabled. So just kind of like, you know, you can forget that one and start a new one. Just be careful. I mean, I will just, you know, try to maybe do everything properly this time and see. But again, I cannot just, this is not like my 100% suggestion, because you can still get in trouble because of that. This is a valuable course. Thank you, sir, for updating the course. Thanks for bottom of my heart. Again, thanks, Naeem, for commenting. That means a lot. Thanks. With the advancement of AI technologies, I would like to establish one-person agency specialized exclusively on designing advertising content, short promotional videos, static ads using online design tools. My goal is to earn a steady income without offering campaign management, content scheduling, responding to social media interactions, because I don't have time, energy to handle those aspects. Could you recommend the best sector to work with online, preferably ones doesn't require video calls due to the language? Do you consider this service to be in demand? I'm currently 40 years old, seeking a reliable income source sufficient to cover living expenses until my expected retirement age, 50 plus. Have a strong online business, passion designing landing pages, ads, specialize in areas, generate high income insurers. Appreciate your advice. It will make a big difference. Thanks. Sorry for taking long, but I wanted to make it as clear as possible. Waiting for your advice. Again, thanks so much. More funnel for that, and you know, you have a lot of experience in your, you know, with your background and with work experience. So I would suggest this. So first of all, I would and let me actually make it as well. You know, draw here. So first of all, I would really master Canva, right? Canva is a tool that I think it's a must right now. It's like, you know, you need to have a LinkedIn profile to be able to, you know, be found by other people. LinkedIn is a must. If you can master LinkedIn, honestly, a lot of things will be much easier for you. So I will start with Canva. That's one thing. If you don't want to show yourself, of course, like UGC, all of that, it's not really going to benefit you. So with Canva, you can do a few things. You have this option to create like static posts. This is something that I actually do, we do. And the second option, you can do short form videos. So those are the options you have, right? The static posts or short form videos. The Canva allows you to create reels and short form videos, do some editing, that will be enough. So actually let me just do it this way here. Oh, my bad, sorry. So, but you saw it with Canva. So, sorry that I did it, but I want to also, I think that was clear what I wrote before. You can do, so you can send the content. That means they can, you can do the exact same service as we are doing, right? So they order like, you know, let's say 10 posts, they can order 20 posts, right? And they can order 30 posts. So like you can build the packages like this, and you just like send a delivery. The same you can do with like reels. You can do like maybe 5 reels, right? You can do like 10 reels, and you can do 20 reels. So these are sort of the packages, like, and you can of course combine, you know, like maybe one package will have the, you know, the certain number of posts and reels. So that's one option. You can also work on the strategy actually. I think that's also, and you can build the strategy inside of Canva. So actually we build our strategies in Canva. So we have like a nice template we created, and you can also do strategy. So that's something that you can kind of like replicate what we are doing. For the other things, like, you know, creating the short video ads, I mean, you want to keep it simple, because if you start to do like, you know, editing, for example, it creates a lot of complexity, right? So I will try to avoid, and because of the social media, like because of the reels and the people know that their work, right? Because when you charge something like edit your vlog, right? You're not going to charge a lot, because it's not going to be like very impactful. If you're going to like offer to edit reels, it's going to be more impactful, because it can bring leads, they can run ads for that. So I would look into actually this direction. This is my suggestion. For AI tools, to be honest, you can explore, but it can be a bit tricky, because sometimes it's just easier to, you know, to kind of ask the client. So what I will do, of course, you need to have a footage, right, to add. So I will ask the client, because you want to, you know, if you do short video ads, you're competing with so many people. Like you'll be burnout. Someone is going to always do cheaper than you, and you're just not going to really make it. But you can do a little bit of let me just. So you can do this. You can offer a service where you have a little bit of, I know you didn't want to do the consulting part, so you can still do the kind of like strategy, right? And then you go and, for example, let's say you need to work on this reels. You ask the client to film. Ask client to film. And when you ask client to film, you should give like guidelines. I mean, just like they can stand somewhere, someone can record with the phone, they can use like DJI microphone, and then they can send this footage. And you take this footage, for example, you take the footage, and because the best content that works online is actually when the person records the content. That's why you guys are watching me. Like, you don't want to watch some AI animation, right? Talking about Fiverr, because you guys want to know my sort of expertise, right? Regarding that. So you take the footage, and then you can go into like, you can use like, let's say, even InShot, right? This is like an application for editing. You know, CapCut, of course, you know, it's there. You can also use Canva, because when you use Canva, you can actually also train yourself doing this like static posts. So that's what you do, and I will recommend to do this on Fiverr as well, to just get this practice, just get this flow, and then you can take it directly. You can work with clients directly, because, you know, the thing with Fiverr, you cannot charge like a lot of money. You know, you have to be very credible, like, you know, have a lot of credibility, but, you know, in reality, it's impossible. So I will show you Coastal Collective Agency Instagram. So if we go to this Instagram account, Coastal Collective, this is a marketing agency, and this agency, you can see their main funnel is Instagram. So they are trying to get clients from Instagram, and they're getting clients, but their packages are like $3,000, $2,000, and they're doing pretty much similar thing to even what we're doing with the static posts. Of course, their portfolio is nice and everything. They also have like, you know, courses as well that they do, but essentially they are able to charge a lot, you know, and you know, like you're saying, you can make like a good money from that. So I'll suggest to explore these options, and hopefully this answers this question. So okay, guys, this has been quite long, but I'm glad I covered you know, all of them so far. I'm just going to refresh it, and so Okay, so regarding the, yeah, I think Timothy, I did answer your question earlier. So yeah, regarding guys, I'm gonna actually I wanted to make the Fiverr, but I actually want to most likely end this video because it's quite long video now, and I will do another video and show you how I do manage my communication, my orders, but really just wanted to go over the questions and, you know, to get all of them answered. Hopefully that opens up some perspective as well, what you can do. Again, if you are a Fiverr seller, you have some volume of orders and doesn't matter which volume, but I would really appreciate if you guys are trying out the freelance hustle.ai. Again, this is, you know, completely safe for your Fiverr account. This is not gonna hurt, but I think there's some really cool features that you'll be probably surprised when you start using it. So, and of course the CRM system, which we're making updates, just made an update last night as well. And will be awesome to have you in the group as well. So guys, thanks so much, and wishing you a lot of more, of course, success on Fiverr, and I'll keep you updated how things will go on my end. And of course, see you soon.